Hi there, and welcome to Module 5 of this Masterclass mini course in communicating like a leader. We have been elevating our communication skills across all the modules so far, and now we're going to look at rounding this up, bringing this all together to understand what is it that leaders are all trying to do. We're trying to build trusted relationships, and I'm going to show you the secret of active listening. So, I'm going to cover the 6 core values that illustrate how powerful active listening can be as not just a powerhouse value, but as a skill. So, here we go. A moment of pause in our day to reflect. So, when we're thinking about active listening, yes, there's the word listening. So, we're really being truly present for someone. And when we are truly present for someone, they feel heard. They feel that we are there for them. We create a space for a connection. And we've all had this happen to us where we just don't feel heard. So I'd like to invite you to pause the recording and just think of a time that you felt unheard and what values were missing for you, and perhaps looking at your core values that you noted in module 1, which one of those or some or maybe more than one of those was missing for you. Welcome back. So let's have a look at the 6 core values of active listening. We have connection. It came up in the last module when we looked at being a great storyteller. Respect, prevents conflict, collaboration, consistency. This beautiful word, consistency, is coming up as well around communicating as a leader, elevating our communication skills, and building empathy. So these are the 6 core values that I feel really resonates when we are looking at why active listening is so important when we are not just elevating our communication skills, but really exhibiting those leadership qualities or attributes that we are looking for. So we'll start with establishing connection. And what I want to do by going through each core value is I want to show you how it supports your active listening skills and what benefits it brings in terms of elevating your communication skills. So let's have a look at how establishing connection with people is possible when we are actively listening. So we're coming back to this moment, to this snapshot in time where you are with someone, a group of people, and you are there present with them, actively listening or actively noticing, because it's more than just listening. It's looking at their body language, looking at how they're behaving, their gestures, their tone, their volume, all of these things that we need to process when we are really honing in on our active listening skills. So by establishing connection, we are showing a genuine, real interest in the other person, their thoughts, their feelings, their experiences. We're validating what they feel and what they have been through. And we are also signaling that there is value in this, that it matters. So we also allow them to feel that their voice matters, their voice is valid. So by doing so, what we are doing is elevating our communications in a number of ways. So we are providing clear communications of thoughts, ideas, and intentions, not just ours, but the other person's. We allow a message to be understood. If I am really here for someone and I'm present and listening to them, and I am trying to deliver a key message to them, and they feel like I'm listening to them, that I'm hearing them, they're more likely to go away with the key message that I've shared with them. And also, if I'm present with them actively listening, I'm more likely to hear their key message, which may be a pain point, a challenge, an issue. So it can really support us to elevate our communications, reducing the risk of misunderstandings. Being honest with someone. Wow. How powerful that can be when we just allow space for us to express truth without judgment. And what this is doing is building, strong foundation of trust. So let's have a look at each core value that supports the active listening skill. And I'm going to break it down into two parts. The first part, we're going to look at the active listening skill in itself. So, how can I establish a connection with someone by actively listening? And then, how does that improve my communications? How does it elevate my communications to that is seen by leaders or expected of leaders? So, we're really looking at the outcome, connecting into those elements of intentionality and storytelling that we've already covered. So, breaking each core value down into these two parts. So, let's start with establishing connections with people by active listening. When we are present with someone, truly present in a space where we are exchanging ideas, we are expressing how we feel, if I show genuine interest in the other person, in their thoughts, in their feelings, in their emotional state, this is going to show them that I'm truly interested, that what they feel, what they have been through, how they're feeling right now in terms of their emotional state, it matters. So, what I'm doing is validating their voice. I'm also recognizing them, I'm appreciating them. And by doing so, it's going to elevate our interactions and it's going to contribute to building a long-term relationship based on trust, which is where we all want to get to when we are communicating and interacting with people on a daily basis at work. If we are showing genuine interest in somebody else, we are providing them an opportunity to clearly communicate their thoughts and their feelings, whilst also providing myself an opportunity to clearly communicate how I'm feeling and what my thoughts are. It also allows us an opportunity that the message is clear, it's not going to be misunderstood. So, whether I have a key message to share, whether they have a key message to share, we're starting from a point of alignment, an openness, a willingness to listen to one another. By doing so, this reduces the risks of misunderstanding and escalation into conflict. If I give you an opportunity to be real, to speak your truth, to express yourself, your thoughts and your feelings, your ideas, then this is going to allow me to understand you better. And therefore, we're building a stronger connection and it's going to mitigate the risk of not finding an alignment of understanding. It's not about agreeing with the other person. We don't always have to agree with someone else's opinion, but we are validating and saying, yes, your thoughts and your feelings and your experiences are valued. Being honest, being truthful, it's something that we all share as a common respect point, right? Like we all want to be honest and we want to interact with others who are also honest and truthful. And we're starting to build that strong foundation of trust in our relationship. Promoting respect. So, respect is our second core value when we are looking at active listening or how we're improving our skill around active listening. It is easier than we think to indicate respect to someone. If we provide space for someone to express themselves and to share their thoughts and their feelings, like we were looking at just now, that's allowing someone to feel that they are respected. You demonstrate that you value their opinion. You demonstrate that their viewpoint is valid. We're showing them respect. You're willing to take the time to understand them, even if we don't agree with them. So we are providing space and opportunity for that person's voice to be heard. And if people feel like their voice is being heard, then they feel like they're being respected. And that means not interrupting them, allowing them time to express themselves. Not interrupting and saying, yeah, but, and putting your thoughts or your ideas across. Thanking someone for expressing their ideas and their thoughts or their feelings or their views. It's a respectful way that we are interacting. And some of this guidance, you can't necessarily, learn it from a book, but we learn from doing. We learn by practicing these things. And when we do so, it will support us in a way that our communication is being received in the way that we want it to, that this person is feeling respected. There is an element of respect in how we communicate. So body language, gestures, tone, volume. The how is really important when we're thinking about respect. Even, how close do you stand to someone, or how intensely you look into their eyes, or, are you smiling, or how is your face, your facial expressions? All of these things can send out signals to other people. So being aware of that is also important for us as we're developing into our leadership style. Using respectful language, not just common language, but respectful language. Avoiding condescension. It's really frustrating when someone's really condescending with you. Even where we don't agree, always showing respect, always providing space. Avoiding conflict. It's okay to disagree, as I've said. And building openness and understanding. The more we ask questions to understand someone's point of view, the more they feel respected, and the more openness we create in that relationship. When we respect someone, it doesn't mean that we like them. You may have people in the business that don't like you, but do they respect you? These are two different things that we overlap as humans. It's human nature. We want people to like us. But sometimes it's okay for you not to like someone or for them not to like you. But what we are looking at is building openness and an opportunity to understand one another. So how does active listening prevent conflict? When we have this opportunity that's open, we are on a mission to mutually understand each other, it allows us to clarify information in real time. If I have a respectful relationship with someone, something's come up and I don't necessarily understand what's going on. Perhaps, it's invoking some anger with me or frustration. I have a respectful relationship with this person. I can go and ask them what's happening. What's their point of view? And I can also share how it's impacting me or what I've been feeling. So being present for each other is going to support the other person, and it's also going to support you to be able to express how you're feeling, but also clarify information. Where we do so in these situations where conflict might be brewing as such, we start using questions instead of using assumptions. The more questions we ask, the more we cross off assumptions. Humans by nature will fill in the story. We love a good narrative and we build narratives in our head. We have 70,000 thoughts a day. It is impossible to go through a day without building some sort of narrative in our head, whether it's about ourselves or other people. So by actively listening, we are also providing an opportunity to fill in the truth and replace assumptions. So that's where we're seeking an alignment of understanding. How is it elevating our communication? Clear expression of thoughts and intentions. We're minimizing judgment as well as interpretation. By asking questions rather than believing our own assumptions are truth, we are addressing the judgments that we have made. Automatically, we make judgments about things that are happening to us, how people are behaving, how people are responding, what you've heard in a story. We automatically form judgments. And if those judgments are unaddressed and are built in narrative, it's not healthy. It's not supporting a healthy, functioning relationship. Also, being concise can help us to prevent conflict. So, using unambiguous language, where we start to get really convoluted and start using words or expressions that people don't understand, that can be really frustrating. And it can make people angry if they don't feel like you're speaking the same language. So, keeping things simple and concise is also going to support us when we're actively listening to prevent conflict. Technology. Here we go. Actively listening strengthens collaboration. So it's crucial to understand different perspectives. Where we have different perspectives, it's actually great. We're getting different pots of experiences, different learnings. We have a hub of creativity, ideas, learnings. It's a gift. So we want to provide space for people to, again, find this common ground, create connections, doing it in a collaborative way where we bond with people when we're collaborating. It's interesting to notice that we want to collaborate with that person again. If we have great collaboration, strong collaboration, we are essentially creating a cooperative atmosphere. And if we have cooperative atmosphere, we are feeding creativity. We're also allowing everyone the opportunity to feel valued and to feel heard. Even if the majority of people don't agree with one person's idea, that person deserves to express themselves. And this is regardless of seniority or experience. Everybody has something valuable to bring to the table. And this is about recognizing that everyone has a value when they are expressing their ideas or expressing their thoughts or their experiences. So active listening strengthens the way that we work with each other or ways of working. And how it elevates our communication, well, we're encouraging a mutual understanding and empathy. We're communicating needs and priorities when we're collaborating as well. Sometimes the art form, the process of collaborating, is just as important as the outcome, because the art of collaborating creates the bond. Sometimes it's the journey, not the outcome. So we're understanding how people work, which is so insightful for us. And we're understanding their priorities as well by asking them questions, gaining their perspective and their ideas. And also, what it's doing is that when we are collaborating and we have this lovely cooperative environment, we're actually finding a way to get clarity on the goal, but also understand, is there a gap in our expectations, or are we all aligned on the expectations? How we're going to work together and how we're going to get there. It also is a great way to strengthen feedback. I've shared already, feedback is key. We should encourage feedback for ourselves, for others. We should do it in a fair and constructive way. And what it does is it enhances not just on an individual level, but the team. So being able to provide feedback in a fair and honest way without judgment, without any repercussions. So we've got this alignment of our overarching objectives and goals. And what this is doing is it's not just strengthening collaboration in terms of that work environment, but it's also at the granular level of person to person, human to human. So through this collaborative way of working, you're strengthening the environment itself. You are bringing trust and safety to the working environment as well as into your relationships. Building trust through consistency. So active listening is so powerful when we think about the consistency that it shows someone. Consistent practice builds trust over time. If I am continuously there and present for someone, listening to them, making them feel that their voice is heard, that they are recognized, that they are appreciated, that they are part of the team, that they belong here, that we have a bond of values, passion, desires. That consistency over time is what's key to unlocking trust in a relationship, because I know what I'm getting when I'm working with you and I'm talking to you. I know that if I come to talk to you about something, that you'll listen to me and you're not going to blow up, or you're not going to behave in a way that was inconsistent to the last 10 times I spoke to you. We're all human, things can happen. But consistency shows your commitment to understanding. So showing space and an open environment to someone consistently means that they're going to trust you, that they're going to come back. And it shows that you value the other person's inputs consistently. It's not that their ideas or their thoughts or feelings are just important for this day because we're going through a lot of change right now. But once that's all implemented, that's fine. It's okay. Not as important. So consistency is key. It elevates our communications in that it provides consistency and clarity and reliability over time. So I've mentioned that already. And with that, we're encouraging honesty. If you are consistently there for someone, you're supporting someone, you allow their voice to be heard, they're more likely to be honest with you the next time you see them and the time after that. People feel that they can rely on you as a person, but also information that you might relay to them, your intentions. When you need to implement change, they know that they can rely on you and trust you. So there's a communication legacy here that we create when we are consistent in our active listening. We become clear and dependable. There's clarity for the people that we're working with. I trust you. I know that you're reliable. I'm going to come to you when I need to share something. That's really powerful. So it's enhancing the overall trust in the relationship. And the last piece, which is so important, and we've talked about it in some detail, is building empathy through active listening. What that means is asking yourself, how would I feel? What would I be thinking? How would I respond? Or how would I react? Or what emotional state might I be in if I was this person? Or if you asked a third party how you think this person might be doing, or what happened for them, or what their thoughts might be, or what their experience may have, their experience may have impacted them. We are coming at it from a non-biased perspective, but we're looking to gain as much information about the other person. We're connecting to them by asking them questions, being curious. We want to gain their understanding, and we want to understand as well how they operate as a person. Because when we are trying to take people on a journey of change, we want to understand what's important for that person. And so by building empathy for people, we're tapping into what really makes people tick, what drives them. And also, really important that we probably don't do enough is acknowledging people's feelings. When we are empathetic to someone, we may respond with, I understand, I hear you, I get that, I understand where you're coming from. It's acknowledging the way that they feel, and it's also creating a channel of openness to keep the conversation or the interaction going. How does that elevate communication? Expressions of empathy acknowledges that person's feelings and experience. That's going to feel really good for them. It's validating their emotions, fostering a deeper personal connection. It's encouraging more openness and honesty. It's promoting safety. Safety is a big value within the workplace that we don't always take enough consideration of. Someone feeling safe in an environment is one of the fundamental ways to get the best out of someone. And when people feel safe, they open up. And when people open up, they can be their true, genuine self. And the company or the organization is going to benefit from more sides or more experiences that this person has. And therefore, all of these things together is building trust in the long term. That's what this is all about, right? When we think about where we started and where we are ending up with this module, this is about building trusted relationships. How are you going to be a great active listener? I'll put myself here. It needs practice. So, what can you do to improve your active listening skills? And it's slightly different to, following that 7-step planning tool that I shared with you about planning around intentionality. Go out and talk to people. Ask questions to gain their understanding. Use phrases like, it sounds as though, it sounds like, I understand that, I hear you. Tell me more about. Don't interrupt, give people space. It's okay to have some silence. Create an open, trusted, and safe environment. Don't interrupt people and just let them express themselves. You'd be amazed to see how much can come through when we just hold silence, when we hold space. Be non-judgmental and open. Be honest and respectful. One of the easiest places to start with this is doing this with a friend. So it might just be having a conversation and just tuning in to your listening skills. What are you hearing from them? But go out and practice. Have some courage. Okay, so let's self-assess your active listening skills. So go back to the 6 core values and do another rating exercise. Kind, fair, as always. In regards to the particular core value, rate yourself. Is it something that you're just not doing right now? Is it something that you sometimes are doing? You can see it, you have an awareness. Maybe actually that you've noticed that your active listening skills are kicking in with the people that you trust most. Or are you consistently doing this? Great. Strength. By doing so, you're going to allow yourself focus on the core values that's going to support you to improve your active listening skills over time. And I just mentioned it. So partner up with a trusted friend or colleague, spend a few minutes each sharing an experience or an idea or an opinion. Don't interrupt. And after you've had your 2-3 minutes, then the listener is going to reflect back what they've heard and also ask some questions, and then you can swap roles. So as I've said throughout the series, these are skills that we need to practice. We're not born with being a great active listener. So don't be afraid to practice and share feedback with each other as well, and learn how you can improve certain ways that you're active listening, and really also take notice of, are others in the business you work in, the organization you work in, are they already exhibiting active listening skills? So finding some role models could be very, very supportive as well. Okay, so we're now wrapping up. We're wrapping up our final module, and I'd like to share with you the 3 key takeaways of active listening. So we've stayed human centered. First key takeaway, and probably the most important, is that where we started with being human centered in module 3, once we moved beyond the fundamentals, we have stayed human centered. We've just been looking at different perspectives and understanding how different core skills are going to connect to different values and allow us to be great communicators. The second key takeaway is that active listening is like active noticing. You're not just listening, i.e., to the content, but you're noticing what's happening for the person or the people that are involved in the interactions, that's involved in the communication piece. So, active listening is a holistic skill. And the last piece is that practicing active listening is going to be a core superpower skill that's going to build long term relationships based on trust. That's what we're working towards when we are communicating like a leader. We want to build long term trusted relationships with people across the business, across our life. And I hope that diving into active listening has shown you the opportunity that we all have to be really present for people. So, what's your key takeaway from today? What have you learnt about yourself in this module? Lots of self kindness in this journey is necessary. Thank you very much for your time. It has been a pleasure to take you through my masterclass mini course on communicating like a leader. This is the end of our journey together. However, I urge you to be courageous, to go out there and practice step by step, one small courageous act at a time to build your confidence. And if you're looking for any support, then you know where I am. And I look forward to seeing you soon in another masterclass mini course that will be coming to you in the next few months.